Good afternoon, Zachariah Jackson, BASA News. I'm here in Newark, and yesterday I was honored to have a cheering crowd for Kamala Harris and the coach. As Kamala yesterday stepped there and on the stage and took the nomination for to be President of the United States, Madam President. But today I'm talking to Sheila Montague, who has, I don't know, a different kind of opinion. And I'm running into people that have a different opinion about this. Now, to me, it's hooray, finally, a woman of color. And I'm gonna, take the black side, a black American woman. All right, I know they say she's part Asian, part this, that, and other. But if I remember an ancient prophet years ago, a rock fell out of the sky. And they were gonna put the rock into a big block where they worship. And some of the tribal people, everybody wanted to help. So what he did was, the great prophet, peace be upon him, he took each person, took one from each tribe, and everybody had their hands on it. Because couldn't have the whole everybody there, so everybody had their hands, because he took each person, if it was 100, he took each one from each tribe, and they all lift the rock and put it in the sacred place where it's even there today. So from my perspective, she's a black American woman, and I'm so delighted and so honored to know that we're gonna have a Madam President. As I told a story yesterday to Dr. Bird, I said, we're in a highly technical world. Everybody needs to be able to sit at the helm of this great ship. As I'm reminded of 1941 on I believe it was December 7th when Pearl Harbor was attacked. President Roosevelt said a date that would live in infamy. And as the white sailors was tossed about on the ships, there was a cook, a black sailor, that was able to run out there and gun down a lot of the Zero planes, but he worked basically off of pure guts, and he worked off imagination. But today in the technical world, we have to have people that can step at the helm that's trained. As President Trump said, that there's black jobs and this, that, and other. So there's people who said they newly arrived, people are taking the black jobs. Well, I beg a different of a black job, but the idea is this right here. If you train people, they can do any job. You understand? So we're looking today is that the difference from today in 1940s is that we got a chance to put our 2 cents in and say, hey, here we have someone that can represent the whole nation that, for whatever world, lack of words, she looked like us. She touches us. And I think that it's very important at this pivotal moment in this history that we have people that anybody should be able to step up and do the job, from any nationality, from any persuasion or whatever, and any character, as long as the character isn't hurting the constituents. So I'm here with Sheila Montague, and what would you say about Kamala Harris? Are you in support of her becoming Madam President as of January 20th, on that great historical day, which is a legal holiday for Dr. King, and I believe the black judge, Justice Judge Jackson, will be swearing her in. So we got a double-double on that day. What do you think?
Yeah, so first I want to say good afternoon, and thank you for having me on your show yet again, and just say thank you for always making sure that always making sure that you create a voice for us locally here in the city of Newark and beyond, when it comes to politics and weighing in on these local issues, and always being willing to hear various sides. So let me just say, thank you for that. In terms of, I heard your excitement, so it's like, that's a fantastic thing. Yeah, you gave a real big opening right there, right? And so,
hiring a coach.
And so I think that one thing I'll start off like this. I think the one thing that helps us grow politically, right, as a collective of people living in America,
Yes.
that we're able to always have conversations, the hard conversations,
Yes.
and be able to respect each other's opinions, right, and also to be able to accept when paradigms shift.
Yes.
And for lifelong, many of us as African American has always been dedicated to supporting the Democrats, no matter who it is
Yes.
that's running. And right now, I think it's no different.
Yes.
I think that there were many people like yourself that are really excited about, we're going to say the double-double that you
Yes.
just said, you know, the swearing in
Yes, yes.
of the woman of color.
Yes.
It's historic, right? By a woman of color,
Yes.
you know, on a man of color, a hero, no less, Martin
Yes.
Luther King's birthday, right? So I see how all that can be like super exciting. I see how it's historic,
Yes.
right? So I see how people are excited about that. I felt like that when Obama was coming
Yeah,
into office.
okay,
It was like, you know, just overwhelming, like, wow, this is great, it's historic, and we're here to see it.
Yes.
It's things that our ancestors, you know, that fought for us to have
Yes,
the right to vote,
yes.
never thought that they would be able to be here.
That's
to
right.
see.
That's right.
So, with that being said, going to your question, do I support her? At this date, because I believe this election is in November,
Yes,
right?
November 5th.
At this date, what's today? August 22nd?
Second, I believe. it is.
Second,
Or
okay.
third.
23rd.
Yes.
At this date, I have not made a decision as to who I'm going to be voting for, but I could say as of right now, there are a lot of things that would have to happen for me to be in support of Kamala as a candidate. So let me start by saying that I think she's a very smart woman, a very capable woman, right, of definitely taking the helm at being, you know, Madam President of our country. But there are some concerns that I have that I'm choosing not to negate,
Okay.
and those concerns must be addressed before I make a decision and advocate.
So
for the
you're
support behind
willing,
her.
but you're willing to let the Republican win, because you know it's almost like a vote not for her is a vote for the Republican.
So you ask a leading question, right? And so when I get interviewed, right, I don't fall for leading questions me myself, because I know for a fact that there are people like Dr. Cornel West who is running. And so when I hear other African Americans say, well, how can you not be voting for the person of color? And it's like, wait a minute, there are a lot of other people of color running. They're mayors, and I don't know if have you looked at the Rolodex, I will call it, of people who are running?
Yeah, well, there's always been a great many people run and things that
So no, I mean really astounding. Have you really looked at any other candidate that is running?
Not really,
That's black.
because
Have you
no.
looked at any person at all? And so this is the thing that I think, and you got to remember, I'm an educator,
Go ahead,
right?
without a doubt, yes.
My advocacy is for people to do their due diligence
Yes.
in voting, right? Because it's not just about casting a vote, and especially based on identity politics. So what do I mean by that, right? People who you feel that you could just look at them and I could identify with her because she's a woman, right?
Yes.
Obviously. I could identify with her because she's a woman of color, right? I could say all of those things, but as we grow maturely and politically,
Sure.
well, politically mature, I'll say, there are other things that we have to look at. We have to look at the policies, right?
Okay.
And one policy I want to just talk about right now, no. Before we get on the policy, I want to talk about Project 2025.
Go ahead.
There's been a lot of talk coming from the Democratic section, and let me say that I am a Democrat, right? About Project 2025.
Yes.
And even though I'm a Democrat, I always look at myself as a trendsetter, right?
Okay.
There's some things that need to be updated, so I'm here to create some change, if
Okay.
you will. And one of the things that I think that I have a concern with, Project 2025 has not been presented in its proper context. I know for a fact that this is something that started under the Reagan administration in the 1980s, and many African Americans who are saying, oh my God, have you read Project 2025? If Trump gets into office, you know, the rest is gonna just be fatality. But this is what we're not being honest with the constituents about. Project 2025 is already underway, and it's been underway since the 1980s, right after the civil rights. And It's underway right now under the Democratic leadership. That is a fact. Project 2025, that 2025 gave you the time that it's going to be fully implemented.
Sure.
So for them to say that's about Trump, and for mass amounts of people to say, oh my goodness, well I can't possibly support Trump because Project 2025, that's misleading information. And people who are in government understand that. And I think that we need to get back to where we're giving people full information and allowing the people to make the decisions that they want to make, not based on identity politics or fear.
Okay, but in a case like this right here, I have not looked at any literature on Project 25, and I'm surprised that they haven't put out a book about the whole outlining
you could get
Project
it.
25.
Yeah, it's out. Hey, baby, how you doing? Good to see you.
But at the same time,
So wait. So it is out, and that's what I'm saying. Like people can read this; they have access to it. But
at the same time, listen, I'm not. Listen, I have no hate for Donald Trump at all.
But wait. I do want to just finish my sentence
Right.
real fast about the Project 25 because that's not true that it's not out. People can get this legislation to read. Well, they were trying to pass a legislation. It's a 920-page document, and you can get it online. And it's not a full 920 pages. Like I said, it's a lot of footnotes and stuff. So it is accessible for people to read, but what people have been doing for years and years and years is just taking a little snippets of what they hear, and then they form opinions. And I'm just saying, as an educator, I want to get us out of that. I don't think that's big enough for us. But I'm sorry, we'll go ahead.
As I said, I'm not a Trump hater at this point. I've never been. In fact, I even went to the inauguration when Trump was first became president. I normally go to inaugurations, and I wasn't going to let, because he won, take me from my American side and not enjoy the inauguration, because I go there, been going to inaugurations since Jimmy Carter walked down Pennsylvania Avenue with Amy and Rosencaller as they held in the middle. And I've seen that as a little boy. And I think I was like 15 at that time. But at the same time, is that here's a person that do have 34 felonies. He has a whole lot of things against him. The frightening part about it with me is that with all the stuff that's going against him, he's still a front runner. He is the runner for the Republican Party. He's the one that they chose. So now, I just wonder. I look at it like any vote that's not for Kamala Harris is a vote for Donald Trump. And are you comfortable if Donald Trump win in November? Will those next 2 months be quite easy, or how would you think? What would you think if Trump did win November 5th?
So there's a layered question there, if you will, and a leading question again as well. See, you got Kamala, you got a supporter right here.
I support her for many reasons.
So no, that's cool. It's
Yes.
cool. It's cool. But so what I want to say, right? I think it's not about supporting her or him, any one candidate. I think that we have to start educating ourselves on the policy. See, a lot of people wanted to support her right away out of a fear that they have for the opposition, her number one opposition, right, which is our honest.
Donald Trump.
Yeah, Donald Trump. And so people look at it in a way that they're the only two candidates. So what we have in many urban communities is a lot of people who have checked out of the voting process. So I want to make sure that I'm making very clear that it is important for you to vote.
Yes.
And if you do not want to vote for either of those candidates, you don't have to, but you do need to vote. And there are plenty other candidates that you can vote for. So now I want to put that to the side because it dispels the myth of, oh, well, if you're not voting for this person, then you're voting for somebody else. No. It's about doing a due diligence to look at these people and their policies. And when you look at Kamala's website, she has absolutely no policy there, right? And so I can't vote based on, I can't wish people out of homelessness. Right now we have 90% of the homelessness that exists in the county, right? In Newark, where we live.
Yes.
90% of that, 70% of that 90 are African American people.
Sure.
So I don't get to be excited about having, well, just excited, because I'm not going to say it's not exciting, because it is.
But
if I
because
could finish,
she's a
wait,
woman.
let me finish,
Go ahead.
respectfully. And so, right, I can't say because she's a woman and because she looks like me, and no. I need to know what your policies are, especially when we're talking about homelessness. And to add this last caveat, to bring it more recent, I'm sure you're familiar with the shooting death of Sonia Massey.
Yes, which she called their
Police
family.
brutality.
She did call
Yeah.
a family.
She called a family, and I thought that was nice. And so many people
Trump
thought it
didn't
was
do that.
nice. And I thought it was really nice of her to call. But as a sitting vice president,
Yes.
there has been in 4 years no hate crime bill for black people.
Okay.
The George Floyd bill has dust on it. It has not moved. And there are things that you can do, even to use your voice as a platform. You're running to say, listen, this has happened to Sonia Massey. This is a horrible tragedy in the community.
Yes.
And with me as president, I am going to make sure that I get a crime bill, because you got to be mindful. She's on record for continuously saying, oh, I'm not doing anything specifically for black people. No. So because they keep repeating that she said, right, when she was running, it's playing around in our heads. And then we watch you get into office, right, her and President Biden, and they immediately did a crime bill, an Asian crime bill. And while Asians may be in danger, and forgive me, I just don't hear about it, but I'm constantly overwhelmed with the unjust shooting deaths of so many black people around the nation.
Yes.
And I just can't understand why anybody in that position would not use their power to get us a hate crime bill, as has been done for Asians, especially considering that she's an Asian Indian.
Yeah.
Thank
Well,
you.
the thing is, this right here is, I understand and I hear a lot of the things, but I've been on this earth 61 years, and I've been out here talking with people, and I know people, and this, that, and other. And, there's some confusion when it comes to identity with a lot of black folk. As a young lady said to me, the other day, said, well, she put a lot of black people in jail. And I said, well, I know so many of us, right? I said to the young lady, I said, well, that's what we do. We beat each other up. We don't go fight Pharaoh. We fight each other.
What do you mean when you say fight each other?
Meaning that I've seen so many of us in leadership power and this, that, and other, and they seem to be very at point and challenge, that they seem to be more hard on us than they are on
And see,
hard.
respectfully, and I've heard that being said before, right? And I definitely want to hear more about how you feel. But at the end of the day, this is not beating up on somebody, asking a woman why it is, as a prosecutor, she ignored very pivotal evidence. Where's that music coming from? That's weird. Tim? They must be about to have an event. Yeah, so hi. So, like I was saying, that's unfair, and it's emotionally blackmailing to say we're beating up on each other. First of all, this is a woman who's running for the head job in the United States of America. So we must ask questions. That is not beating up. And if you held on to evidence that could have stopped a man from going to death row, a black man, no doubt, then we are entitled to ask that and it not be categorized as beating up on her. No. We're not going to use the fact that you're a woman and say, oh, well, she's a woman, so we're not going to ask. That's not a tough question.
But let me say this right here, Sheila.
Sure,
I
please,
just come from I don't know what you call it, a respectful part, or just a DNA or heritage or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But if I go back and I name presidents, and I start with Hoover, start with Roosevelt, Truman, Ike, Kennedy, Johnson, Nixon, Ford, Carter, Reagan, Daddy Bush, Bill Clinton, son Bush, Barack Obama, Donald Trump, Joe Biden. Ain't a woman in the bunch. There's not one woman in the bunch. Don't you think that it's time that you guys, you know, being American women and this, that, and other, and every woman look up to you guys from around the world. They look to you for leadership, for guidance. Don't you think it's that time now that you take the helm?
So
I
would like to answer the question, and I see, and that's what makes it really hard, right? I'm going to be honest, just talking about politics with us, like we're so passionate, right? And you're coming with a wealth of knowledge, right, and experience. So I get it, and so this is what it is, right? Nobody's going to blackmail me into not holding any candidate, woman or male, gender, it does not matter. Responsible for having a policy or sharing a platform about what it is that you intend to do for just black people, because we watch what you did. You spent maybe over $3 billion, I don't know the number, but it's definitely in the billions, to make legislation and to create programs and resources for Asian Americans. And black people are the people who helped build this country. So you cannot tell me that you're going to put reparations under a study for 4 years and then ask me to just unequivocally give you my vote in support for president and not respond to the questions that we have. Because yes, I'm a woman, right? But I'm a woman of a black man. I'm a woman, I have a black son. And so I'm concerned. I'm concerned about his future and the future of his children. Yeah. And that's why our ancestors fought so hard to do things and put in place to get rights for us to be able to vote. And right now, we are able to vote, but I refuse to vote solely on identity politics. But I'm going to be honest. If this candidate was Michelle Obama, we would not be having this conversation. It concerns me that Michelle Obama was asked to be the president over and over again, and
she's asked to run.
To be the president. To run, and she turned it down.
Yeah, but because is she really? Okay, let me ask you this, Ray. Is Michelle Obama more qualified than Kamala Harris?
When you're talking about identity politics, yes, Michelle Obama is from Chicago, an urban area, yes. Right? Married to a black man, they have lived the black experience. Yes. So if we're going to talk about identity politics, then that is very important in that particular case. But we are already familiar with the policies of her husband that was a president, right? Yes. And so I don't think it would be a problem for her to share what she was going to do.
Can we give her a pass? I say that right there because 2013 marked 160 years of freedom for the black Americans. And I'll tell you what I looked for. I remember when I went to the Democratic Convention in Charlotte, I drove down, I took the back way, up 81, and so I went through the back door of South Carolina, and took the mountains. And as I arrived, I got into the convention and things of that nature, and I was so happy that, believing that Barack Obama would win, and we went on in November to win. Okay, but then in January 20th, I imagine, a State of Union address, whenever that State of Union address was for 2013 was. I really thought that President Obama at the State of the Union address was going to say, mention something about the Emancipation Proclamation, which was actually 160 years. I really thought, I'd sit there and I said, I know this guy's going to mention this to me. And he didn't mention it. I had to give Obama a pass on that. I even ordered the State of the Union address to make sure that there was, that maybe a commercial I ran from the bathroom or whatever, I didn't hear it. But he didn't say one word about that. He didn't say one word about the Emancipation Proclamation, and it wasn't a coup, it was voted in by Congress. So, and of course, our beloved President Lincoln. So, but I just say this, is there any point where we give someone a pass, not for them, but for generations yet unborn? Because see, a young lady, right, going to school, right, that looks like you.
This is a long question.
She would see Kamala as president.
Friend, no. no. And I'm sorry. And I'm going to tell you why. Listen, listen, I don't believe in giving passes. I believe in hard work. I believe in helping. I believe in hard work. So no, I don't believe in giving a pass. But let me say this, right? I believe that. I
don't believe in giving a pass.
Listen, no, she's not getting a pass from me. And that doesn't mean that I'm being hard on it either. Like, understand, like, okay, so we gave a pass when Obama got in office.
Yes, we gave a pass. Yes,
we gave a pass,
yes,
right? There are people who will say that he didn't come through for the black community.
Yes, yes, people
Okay,
say.
so I don't want to go deep into that because
Right.
you don't want to. I want to stay on topic.
Right.
So now, Trump got in office afterwards.
Yes.
We gave Biden a pass, right?
Did we?
He's there now, yeah. And giving Biden a pass, Biden, the Biden administration, because she was a part of that, has allowed millions upon millions of illegal immigrants to enter America and change the entire fabric of our country. Like I said earlier, we already had African Americans here homeless. Some of these people are veterans who fought
Yes.
for our country,
Yes.
living down at Penn Station and in different little
In a tent.
habitat places, yeah, like still going through trauma. How can we justify not only bringing in illegal immigrants, because see, the thing is there's a process here to become legal, right? But they skip that entire process for these three things, friend, and I don't know if you're aware, so let me know. Number one, giving them resources, thousands of dollars. Do you know what I could do with $3,000 or $4,000 a month?
Yes.
In many instances, these people have children and they're getting like thousands of dollars a month. Like you understand what I'm saying? Depending on how many kids they have or whatever.
Sure.
Like, why are they allowed to get that and they're not paying taxes? We've been here paying taxes, working hard our entire life. They're getting monies for college, right? We have a government, this administration, who feigned to not know how these people were getting here. We listened to the congressional floor discussions, and guess what? Lo and behold, not only did you know, but you have an app for these people, and this could be pulled up. It's on my page, actually, Sheila Montague, if you want to check it. But you can. They gave these people an app that gives them 5 different entrances to get into our country. That was strategy, my friend. That's a plan. Now we want to talk about Project 2025. I need to know what's the secret project to getting millions of immigrants in this country, because see, the next part of that is these immigrants are not these nice people who are looking for refuge. No. The people who are entering this country right now are being released from prisons in Mexico. So we have the Venezuelan gangs, right, that are here, and anything I'm saying you could look up, kicking in doors, taking over adverse possession of people's homes. You understand? And when people call the cops because they're getting kicked out of their home, the cop is saying there's nothing we could do. This is a civil matter. You have to go to court.
You mean somebody kick your door down and come in your house, the cops don't
Well,
say
they're
nothing?
probably not going to break the door, but if they're coming in through gun entry, the people who are online sharing their stories about what happened, basically they're coming in, with a gun, but once the people are not there, they don't have the gun anymore, it's your word against theirs. You got to go to court. You understand? And why would you have a law like that? And if it clearly it exists, right? A lot of us know it as
okay. In terms of breaking into an empty house,
no,
not breaking into like your house or my house.
That's a good question. Both
yeah.
are happening, but I was just talking about, yes, people have stories. People have gone online to share their stories about what's happening to them. Now, at first, it was within the nation in the United States, different places. But now, this last weekend, I heard of it, something taking place in Montclair, something taking place in somewhere else. Now, I haven't heard about this happening in Newark yet, but this is something that's ongoing. And again, these people are some of the most hardened criminals. Matter of fact, I have friends, honestly, that are illegal immigrants. I'm not against people coming here, but I want you to get your paperwork and do it the right way, right? And then I don't want the situation where as we as African Americans are being displaced, because when you bring in 22 million people from another land and then you get them registered to vote, you're giving them food, shelter. Like I said, we don't have shelter here.
Yeah.
So we talk about these issues, right? And then you say give her a pass. Kamala has to explain that to the thinking part of the black community. And as an educator, as like many other educators around this nation, we are forcing critical thought, which, by the way, is not taught in our schools anymore.
Sure.
But even though it's not taught, you're going into the schools to find, hold on, a bug just got me. You're going into the schools now to find 16-year-olds to vote. And so when you talk about elders in our community who don't know the ramifications of bringing gang members here, right? And that's what I was saying. I know, I didn't finish that thought. I know personally
Sure.
immigrants who migrated here from other places who told me personally, you know, Miss Sheila, she said, these are the people we were running to get away from. They're not good people. So I'm not just talking based on any just one source. My ideologies.
So in other words, so you would be in favor of President Trump getting into office and rounding people up.
We're on television.
Oh,
And rounding people
can I say
up.
hi to the king?
No.
And rounding the people up. So in other words, if let's say President Trump got in November, in January, he just rounded them up like a rodeo. You in favor of that?
Let me say very clear.
Go ahead.
Yes. They need to go home. They need to go to their land. Resources, if they're going to give them to them, they need to go where they are. And they weren't in the land. Again, these are people who are hardened criminals. We're not talking about people who are nice, who are coming here for a different way.
But you don't think
We're
some of that hardened criminal stuff is
Wait.
propaganda?
No, it's not propaganda. I'm talking about what I research and know, not what I think or what I heard. So these are people who are coming from prison. That was the deal. If they were to be released from prison, that they could not live there, but they could come here to America. And that is a problem. Because when did the American people like me or yourself get to weigh in to say whether or not we agree with that? You ask us for our vote, but you make huge decisions that impact us. Right now, I've seen with my own eyes, we have Venezuelan gang members that's located on Clinton Avenue. Do you know what kind of problem that could potentially pose for all of our young black men who are here? Because unfortunately, the truth is what it is. There are young black men who are here in gangs. And that's a fact. And I don't think there's anybody that don't know that. Now, do we approve of that? No. But that is a reality. Now, what happens when these guys get over here, right? And they have their gang. What's going to happen? It's going to be potentially a war for power because they got to eat. They need money. They need food and shelter. So you're all living in an impoverished community because they can't continue indefinitely giving you the resources that the government is giving you now.
Sure. So then, in a way, you will you vote for Trump, or you will just not vote and hope he get in?
So this is what it is, right? I think that I don't need to be concerned about who I'm going to vote for. Okay. I think the Democratic Party needs to be concerned that they get the support from the votes from the people. Because far too long, we've been a machine, right, that it's like the tail wags the dog. And we need to get back to the dog wagging the tail because once upon a time, political servants was just that, political servants.
Sure.
But now it's like they've become dictators of the people.
Sure.
They're not inclusive, you know, in terms of the people. Like I said, when did we get to weigh in as to whether or not millions of people enter our country and change our whole demographic here? We didn't. And so to that end, I think that what the Democrats need to be doing is making sure that they come with a very strong platform to support black people specifically, but not just that, but for black people specifically, because let's be clear, there's not another race in this country that is getting gunned down continuously due to police violence. There's not another group
Sure.
of people here who kids are, I don't care if it's in Detroit, Illinois, Chicago, I don't care where it is, the school systems are failing our kids,
Yes.
okay? In Newark, I don't care, 4 out of 5 third graders are not reading and writing.
And whose fault is that?
Right. So what I'm saying is, right?
I'll just ask a question.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of blame to go around.
Well, who's the real blame go to?
The real blame right now goes to, but I'm gonna say not say blame because you're leading, and I don't like to be led. I like to say what I mean and use my own words respectfully. I think that the government has to take accountability and responsibility for that because, for let's say a city like Newark, right?
Okay.
We get a budget that's $1.5 billion.
Okay.
You can't tell me you can't teach the kids in Newark how to read and write
Well,
with $1 billion. Let me finish. You can't tell me that can't happen. So what is happening to the money? What oversight is being done? And if nobody's held accountable for making sure that the money is appropriated appropriately, right, then it's not going to get done. So there's a lot of key factors that play a role here, you understand? And if they're, and why they're not using their platform to hold people accountable, because they can do that too.
Yes, and my thing is this right here, what I want to interject and say this here is that the same way that you're informed about this, and we know all the stats that's in front of us, we're more likely to get shot down by the police than a rescue. We already know that.
Right.
They come in our house with boiling water, hot water, you got what, Mac 10 on your side now or whatever?
No. She called the cops. No, wait, hold up.
Wait, let me finish. I'm saying.
We're not going to blame her for that.
No, I didn't blame nobody.
Okay.
No, I said, you're in your house boiling water.
Mm-hmm.
You and your partner got a gun on the side. What they use? A Mac 10 now or whatever? Whatever kind of automatic gun they use. And you tell me that a person 12 feet, 10 feet away from you is a threat, so you already shoot them down like they're a dog and don't even care about rescuing them or whatever the case. You shot them in the face, so there's no need even think about rescuing. We're more likely for all these things to happen. Every other week you see a black man getting out of jail that's done 30, 40 years, right?
Well, school is what needs, where the intervention needs to take place so that won't occur.
Hold up, man. Hold it for 1 second. We got, every other week you see a guy, Channel 7 News, so a guy got out of jail, 30 years, he didn't do the crime, right? Now, am I the only one seeing this? So what are the parents doing? Is the parents making sure these kids are reading? Isn't some of this? The parents are,
whoa, let me say this. That's a great question. I want to hit it right out the park. What side park that is? The parents are the students of yesterday's broken school system that was built in the same way by the non-stop support of African Americans supporting Democrats and getting absolutely nothing from that support. Like I said before, and I'll say it again, our vote is supposed to be transactional. If I'm gonna vote for you, right, and a group of 500 African Americans are gonna vote for you, we want something, and we're not asking for anything. We're not demanding that they come in and do something to our schools. Don't tell me, listen, my grandmother raised me, she was from Raleigh, North Carolina. I never knew, I didn't know, no, let me finish. I'll let you know, friend, I will let you know. My grandmother had a 4th grade education because she was very older, and she even told me about times when she actually picked cotton herself. So my grandmother only could go to school, she would tell me, when it rained. You understand? So that's the woman I was raised by.
Sure.
I was a scholar in school, and like I said, my grandmama raised me. She did not know how to read and write. If you send your child to school, and teacher after teacher, and all of these people are getting paid to teach, and the kids are not learning. And it's not just in one classroom or one school or one city. Like I prefaced this in the beginning, this is happening in every urban community. The black people are the inventors, the scientists of so much historically. You're not gonna tell me all of a sudden nobody can read and write. No, this is happening by design. It's happening by design. We're living in a business.
You can lead
template.
A horse to water, but you can't make him think.
No, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
You can lead the kids to school, you can't make them think. Now,
so you're blaming it on the school?
No, I'm not blaming it on the school. I think you blame it on the school.
No, let me see what that
I'm saying is that at some point, right, when that kid is home, we all know the game that's...
I was a kid that was home.
Right. Then
I got
somebody...
A's in school. The
but
teachers
you
taught.
must have read at home. Is these kids reading at home?
No, listen, the
you
teachers
didn't read
that we
anything at
had...
home?
Listen, the teachers that we had... I told you my grandmother would... Listen, my
but
grandmother
did you
took
read
care of me. I read whatever the teachers gave me to read.
Okay. So
you
when
know
the
what I'm saying?
teachers
It's
give
still
them
the
books,
school.
are they reading them at home?
The schools are not even giving the kids books anymore. So listen,
game
I
has changed.
understand that people, and I like what you just said, the game has changed. And we're not ignorant anymore as African American people. We're not going along with you look like me, we're going to vote for you, you remind me of my auntie, we're going to vote for you. No, we're not playing that anymore because we have some of the most, the jewels of the world that are African American. Sitting up filling jails. We have yet to receive reparations. And you don't tell me there needs to be a study done when you can just look right out your window and see injustice taking place that you know is unfair and unjust. And rarely, if ever, are we, treated fairly.
But we're in a system, Sheila, that there's nothing done without research. There's nothing done
People
in the
are
Western
voting every day without research.
There's nothing done in the Western world without actual research, something of that great magnitude. Now, in terms of the reparation package, this right here, am I for it? Yes, I am for it. But that has to be studied because we have to figure out how would it be dispersed. Now, there's a family down in Mobile, Alabama. They have a place called Africa Town. Their family came in, their great-grandfather came in on a cotillion. That family still owns property in that area, and that family is settling up with those people. So there are families that are doing the reparations. So now we got to figure out, there's got to be research on how it's going to be done. Okay, because
they've been doing research. It's been in a study for 4 years. Where is it?
Well,
where are the results?
It takes time.
How long does it take? She want to be the president now. I'm sorry, we have to hold these people accountable. It's not about her being a woman. And we, for too long, been excited about symbolism. Where has that gotten us? Where has that? We had a great symbol with Barack Obama. You know, it was so deep. You probably know his name. There was a guy who said once, it went all across the nation. He said, we gave y'all a black president. We gave y'all Obama. You know what I'm talking about? What's his name?
Oh, man.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
I heard
they felt like, we blessed you. We gave you the symbol of having a black president.
Yes.
We are Americans too. Black history is American history.
Sure.
And we have to stand firm in that we're not continue to be treated like second-class citizens and understand who we vote for. If we're gonna vote for a person that is allowing millions of people to come into this country and get a foothold in financially more than we are. Wait, let me finish my sentence, please. And that's another thing. As women, I've been begging to get my sentence in, and it's not just with my friend right here, because I know he loves me. Every time when I'm talking to a man, they will cut, and I know I'm not the only woman having this. They will cut you off.
Somebody interject on what you're saying.
Yeah, they will cut you, but like I said, your questions are kind of long, and so I want to be not led and share my little point of view because you asked to interview me. So the thing is, like I said, when you have a woman coming in, the symbolism is great, but we gotta look past the symbolism.
Well, didn't y'all look past it with Hillary Clinton?
What about Hillary Clinton got to do with this?
Well, because she was a woman running for office, and she the one that started the whole thing. Because had y'all voted for Hillary, we wouldn't have had Donald Trump.
Well, I don't know if you noticed, not only did I support Hillary, right? I went to the battleground places in Pennsylvania. Wait. I want to answer your question. See how you always cut me off? I was active. That's what I'm trying to say. I was active every day, spending my own money going down there to smoke. Because again, it doesn't have to be a woman of color. I was excited to see a woman potentially becoming president. And I knew that she had the experience. So I went to support in the battleground states. Dealt with a lot of racism down there too, by the way. But that was expected. But at the end of the day, I supported her. She won. It was she won the popular vote. It was the college with them.
I knew something. I know the vote, so I can't remember.
I want to say electoral college.
Something like that. Yeah.
They determined the outcome of that election. So to answer your question, this is not about race for me. It's never about race. And don't get me wrong, is it a factor? Of course it is. Of course, we're black. We want to see black people, come up in our political world and be representatives of ourselves. But that's another thing. Too many times we see black faces in these places, and they have these titles and positions, and they are not being supportive of for the voice that we need in our black community.
I understand that right there. I mean, I felt that pain myself at one time. But the way I look at it now is this right here. Listen, maybe this one won't have the love for the community like another one that will come along next. I don't know, but it's a gamble. Politics itself is a gamble. It's like what Eddie Murphy said on Raw. He said he take the dice and they roll it. He said he wants somebody with a good mind, a good body, good this, that, and the other. And somebody that's not in debt and all that. He said, give it to me. And he crap out. So I've crapped out many times on throwing that dice on voting for somebody, but I'm not voting for her because she's a woman, because she's a black woman. I'm voting for her because I think it's time for the little young ladies that's going to school of all persuasions to see a woman in that a seat of power, to see a woman that's walking around with the nuclear missile codes. Why should we always bear that? I want you to bear it too.
I don't see how a woman has anything to do with it. She has absolutely no experience, and we're about to go into the war. Who wants to go into a war? And it's not about her per se, so because I know we're talking about her, but I'm just talking about her as a candidate. Who wants to see? Experiment. Let me use that's a better word. Who wants to experiment with an inexperienced candidate getting thrown into a war?
Well, you just.
I mean,
said,
who would support that?
Okay, well, you just basically said so many words that if Trump got in.
You keep trying to force it.
I'm not forcing it.
A lot of people. Y'all would say there's a lot of people are running, and I got a lot of choices to choose from. But since you mentioned Trump, he does have the experience.
How?
Wasn't he the president before?
But he learned on the job.
But the people that we're at war with now, we weren't at war with when he was in office.
But she's a vice president.
So that might be good, right?
She has a lot.
Can you concede that? The people that we're at war with, the Biden administration is at war with. Trump was friends with. He was allies with these people for our country.
Who we at war with?
Putin, the one who just came out publicly to let black people know the secret that American didn't let know, right? That's why he coined it, right? That the black Madonna, right, and the son was black. He opened it up to the world and let the world know. I've never seen that before. And people can say, oh, that's not important, but it is important for little kids to see. Now we're talking about something little kids need to see. Little kids need to know their history because they're refusing
a lot of people
it.
need to learn Russian history too, because just like
Russia is the only place that didn't have slaves.
Wait, hold it now. They might not have slaves as chattel slaves like we had in the United States, but Russia's definitely no friend to liberty, because
they never had slaves. That's a fact.
There's many different groups in Russia. There's many different ethnic groups in Russia, and before we go into Putin as cheerio.
No, I'm just saying. Saying. Let's talk about the facts.
The facts is that it was.
And the fact is, let's stay focused for the war.
The war.
We need a president that knows how to have allies. Do you think we need to be handling the war right now?
You mean with the Ukraine?
With anybody. Everybody is after us. Everybody is after us. We got BRICS.
Who? BRICS.
And see, this is what I'm talking about.
Who is
BRICS? I want to say, but see, this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about.
Now you said we got BRICS.
I'm going to get into it.
Go ahead.
Do you know how many African Americans are cheering for Kamala Harris and have no idea what BRICS is?
Well, why don't you explain it to us and we'll know.
So it's a collaboration, right?
Okay.
That's gotten together against America, right? We got Britain, Russia. What's the Korea. Korea. I know the case for Korea. I don't remember them all, but
North Korea. Probably.
Yeah, North Korea probably. But the point is, we have so many enemies, and then we sat here the past year and was forced to watch those little kids be killed in Palestine day after day after day under this current administration. There's just too many things. I mean huge things. These are not little knickknacks, to deal with.
Yeah, but
as
a black American, can we?
And see, and this is the thing too. You're so passionate about supporting this woman. You have literally cut me off at every single time I've tried to answer your question. And I get it, right? And I respect my elders and you guys, you know, because they like, Sheila, do what I say do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, you guys are my mentors.
Well,
I
how
love
old
you.
you think I am?
Well, so it's not about the age, right? It's about the wisdom, right? It's about the wisdom. And so you've been around to see a lot of things that even if I was around, you know, because you're only 21 years young, okay? You was around probably, you know, in the know, you know, I will say. And you have a strong grasp on, you know, these presidents and things like that. But I'm just saying it's a new day. And we're in full throttle of informational age. And with information, your practices are gonna have to adjust. We can't any longer, like I said, we gave the pass for the symbolism with Barack, you know. I'm not willing to do it again, and there's a lot of people that are not. And I'm going to tell you another thing. I don't know if you're aware. There are a lot of black men, like every single black man that I have asked, whether in Walmart, ShopRite, the park, because I ask it on a regular basis because I'm really concerned with these issues. And every single black man, from the senior building to the young guys in the street walking with their girlfriends, and I'll ask. Every one of them has always 100% of the time said that they were supporting Trump because they're looking at the economy, they're looking at the money, their bottom line, and they're also looking at their safety with all of these gang members from another country coming in.
Well, you know, too many times people are willing to tear something down. Sometimes we can remodel and fix something up. And I'll say this right here, is that too many people are ready to disband the Democratic Party. They say we should start another party. We should have other options. But why not get in there and just be a part of it and make the change there? Say, too many people are ready to just say, forget about this. Let's just cut it.
Yeah, I haven't heard that.
I've heard it all the time.
Yeah.
You hear it on the radio. Listen, we should have another party. We should have this, that, and other. Why not people like yourself that's concerned get into the party and you make the change? For your character is pure.
So I'm glad you asked that question.
Yeah.
I've been a part of the Democratic Party for quite some time.
Yes.
Recently, as you know, I ran for Congress for the Democrats. And what I saw, again, was a huge miscarriage of justice where the person who actually got the support from the Democratic Party, the person who actually got the support, she didn't hand in all her petitions as she should have. That was the first course of action that needed to have happened. And there was at least like 11 candidates that was running in this same race. Sure. And they had to do their due diligence to do it. So as a sitting, council president with people who work underneath her, I don't know why she wasn't able to get in the 200 petitions, but the point is that she didn't. And instead of just discounting her, what they did was they didn't want to do that for whatever reason. So it went to a judge. The judge didn't want to make a decision, so it went to the Secretary of State. What's her name?
Secretary of State of New Jersey or
Taisha Way. Okay. Taisha Way. She didn't want to make a decision on it. She kicked it back to the judge. Listen, not only did she get back on that ballot, and she still to this day, Oprah requested the petition. She never had 200, and she won, and the Democrats supporting her. So when you talk about somebody being involved in the process, trying to make change from the inside, I still have not given up. And it wasn't long ago that I was in this very park getting intimidated by members of my own party, right? Sure. From running from something as simple as a district leader position, and that's neither here nor there.
People want those jobs, and they're going to try to jump over each other.
So people want the jobs, but the problem is that our people need to start looking at you want the job, they don't want to do the work, right? Yeah. And so there's some of us that are out here doing the work, whether or not we get paid, whether or not we get a title that we run for. Sure. And I'm one of those people. So I always, just pray that my tongue speaks right when I speak to people.
Sure.
And that's to just educate to the best of my ability, but understand that while I'm educating, right, while I'm a teacher, I'm simultaneously always at the same time a student.
Sure.
You understand? So I'm always learning.
But at the same time, is that I think that change will come, a step by step. There's going to be people that can do the job and that have a heart for things and everything. But you know,
What's one of her policies that you like?
Jesus said this right here.
What's one of her policies that you like?
1 second. Render to Caesar. He said, what's on that corn? The guy said, Caesar. He said, turn it over. And he said, Caesar again. So then Jesus said, well, you render to Caesar what is Caesar. I'm not voting for any politician thinking of a church, synagogue or mosque. I'm voting, you know, it's the game. It is a game and things of that nature. But I'm a Democrat and this, that, and other. And I like the idea that finally we have a woman that may be Madam President in January.
If you're going to bring the church into it, I would be remiss to not mention the fact that they have become so political that it's sad that they have gotten, first of all, there's no separation anymore at all between church and state, which I think
you're
is
talking
a
about the
tragedy.
structure of the church.
Yeah, but
I'm saying church in our bodies, the church, like this is the church here, we here.
Well, you're talking
church.
about coins, ain't no
I'm
coins.
talking, no, I talked about the coin, but when I said church, I'm not talking about, let's say, the big congregation over there. I'm just saying church that's within our heart. The real church is within us. That's the church I'm talking about.
We're not doing that anymore. We're not doing that. I hear you, friend. You know, but like I said, I would ask you to consider and try to see it, you know, as considerable as I can, right? I pray to God. I have a relationship with God that has nothing to do necessarily with my politics, unless it's about moving with morals and integrity and, you know, all of the things that, you know, rank beneath that. But when it comes to picking out another person is not God. Like, no, I'm going to look at you from a logical standpoint, and I want to know what your policies is, which brings me back to my question. Can you name one policy that she supports?
Well, I like what the Biden administration has offered us. Young people are working. People say that people are not working. That just young people are getting jobs today. Back in 1980, I couldn't even had to pray for a job. They're getting jobs online like this. They're coming to work and things of that nature. People are building their lives and this, that, and yes, there's price gouging with food and stuff, but that has a lot to do with the companies itself. And she said that she's definitely going to hammer in on that right there. So I like the idea that for the last 4 years, it's been very comfortable. Yeah.
How has it been comfortable?
It's been comfortable.
You didn't realize how many black men just got shot? Oh, they're not talking about it on the news anymore like they did when Trump was in office.
Let me say this right here. They still talk about it. There've always been black people shot.
What made you comfortable? What you mean comfortable?
When I say comfortable, I'm talking about in terms of young people are going to work. People do have jobs and things of that nature. It's not.
Have you seen the lines at Essex County College for the job fairs and stuff that's going on?
Yes, and they're getting jobs. I see them at the airport too, but they get jobs.
People are not getting, there's just not enough jobs. People are losing their homes every day. The jobs, the inflation is crazy right now. My son had to move back home. He's 30 plus. He couldn't afford it. And like many of the, generations.
So let me ask you, what do you think that if Trump gets in office, you think he's going to just like Shazam and change everything?
Well, one of the policies that he's talking about, which I'm very favorable of, to tell you the truth, is that he's going to make it so we don't have to pay taxes anymore.
I do
my research, right?
Jerk in the world.
Yeah, but I'm not going to talk about anything I haven't done my research on. When they said he's a person that we know has not paid taxes. He said that nobody in these political realms are paying no taxes, but they fearmonger us and make us feel, oh, you got to pay taxes, you got to pay. No, that's not what's going on. He got the plan for it. He said that he's going to make sure that we don't have to pay it.
So you mean in my check, if Trump get in office, I won't be getting that what do you call it, every year?
Hey friend, absolutely. Why you think I told you? You know what? Do your own poll. Don't take my word for it. Go around and start talking about it. Just so that you out and about, just like everybody. Some.
But wouldn't that have to go through Congress to vote that there would be no more taxes?
He's doing something for that too. Trump is trying to put something in place, and it's very debatable. But much like Putin, where he's they're not doing the elections every 4 years.
Oh my God! Are you for that?
I'm not for anything yet. I'm listening.
No,
but I need to compare some stuff, and I don't got nothing to compare it to because Kamala ain't said nothing.
Well, ho. You said like Putin.
Like
Putin comes from a communist background.
No, well, what you think? you
Okay,
think
so
Kamala
you
is promoting?
So you telling me? Wait a minute. You
Wait,
telling
wait.
that you favor someone getting in the office and becoming?
Friend, do you know, before we go any further with this conversation, do you know
Come on
that
now.
Kamala is supporting communist philosophies right now
How would you say that?
and socialists? That's what they're doing. Letting all the people in. That's what it is.
We've always had in America in the 1980s.
I'm just saying, if you're going to see the
in
Putin is this
1980s,
and
we
she's
had
that.
we had the Cuban people coming in and the boat people coming in and things like that. We've always had people coming into this.
Listen,
nation.
we're not playing with
Because-
Kamala. Kamala's going to have to come
just
up
like
with
just like a Native
tangible-
American said the other day when the people was in some state, I think Texas, telling the people they need to go home. So the Native American walked over and said, "Well, why don't you go home? We didn't want you here."
But
You
we
came
was.
here-
Did
wait,
you,
wait,
do you
wait,
know
wait,
that
wait,
black
wait,
people was here before the
Wait,
natives?
wait.
Before the Indians? Did you know that?
That's another show that we were talking about.
Okay, that's fair. But what I'm saying is
The
like
idea is this right here is that I'm not gonna favor anything.
But
I
you're
won't,
talking-
I
you're
won't
saying that he's
relate
a communist,
anything.
but
wait a
she's
minute.
a
I won't
communist.
relate anything that goes on in America in Russia. Now, what people got to
We're
understand.
just
one
talking
thing,
about communism, though.
People gotta
And that's what I'm
understand.
saying. Do we understand what it is?
Yes, I understand what it is, but I'm telling you, anytime we will always, and I've studied Russia, been there years ago. We will always fight the Russian bear. Not only us, Germany is fighting, England is helping Ukraine. We will always fight the Russian bear.
Do you agree with Ukraine getting that package?
They need it.
We don't. Charity
Well-
doesn't start
well-
at home. I'm just asking.
Well,
Forefront.
let me say this right
For
here,
some
friend.
voters.
This right here is this here. When we talk about giving so many billions of dollars to the Ukraine, it's not intangible money. It's weaponry.
It's not just.
It's
weapons.
not. Yes, it's weapons.
It's not
They need
only weaponry.
It's weapons.
It's
basically.
resources. It's a whole.
They
it's a
need that.
package.
They're in a serious fight. And guess what? We get to test our weapons, and perfect them in this fight. So it's just like this here. Sometimes I work on people's houses. That's not my job. I work on people's houses because I have tools and I can work, and I like to keep my skill up. So sometimes I'll surrender a week of my vacation and work on their house or whatever. They may give me a sandwich if I can get one out of them. But at the same time, I'm not doing it for the money. I'm doing it because I have the tools. I want to keep my skill up. And we're learning a lot about our weapons. It's one thing to build a weapon. And there's another thing to have a weapon in combat. And they got a weapon in combat with the second superpower in the world, and that's a good thing for America. And let me say this right here, I do not back anybody that's going to get in the office that say that we're not going to have any more elections. So we're not going to have any more elections, then I give up the ghost.
Friend, this is what I would propose, and I hope you're open to doing this. I would propose that you, the listening audience, and anybody who is so loyal to voting for whoever is on the Democratic ticket. No, because this didn't start with Kamala. Like I said, that she's not even a factor to me because we.
Well, why don't you vote?
Can I finish?
Yeah.
Be too emotional to talk politics sometimes. No matter, in a business model, right? No matter who the president is of the business, the president is just a figurehead. The business is being run by the people we don't talk about. We need to have some interviews where we're talking about Black Rock. We need to have some interviews where we're talking about the Rothschilds and the Bilderbergs and these people who are funding both of these campaigns, because we're in a situation where it's unilateral. Sure. Right now, the government. And so talking about her, making it about her, that's just, I don't even know what that is. Like I said, I'm a logical-minded person. Like, that just doesn't even make sense to me. She doesn't do anything. She's just going to be there as a figurehead. I'm looking behind her to see what's going on and how is it going to benefit my people. I am a Black African-American woman that has given birth to 3 children, 1 African-American male in a country where, I like that, in a country where too many of our young men find themselves in jail, find themselves in economically strapped when we have land that was not given back to us.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? We have reparations where people are telling us you got to do a study. You don't have to do a study. There was no study done to these illegal, because that's the operative word, illegal immigrants. There was no study done to give them resources, jobs. They're police officers. They have license. They have the right to vote. And I'm going to tell you something else while we're talking about the support of black women. I don't know if you know this. They just gave the illegal criminals that are here from jail the right to bear arms. We've been here forever and we did not have that right. They gave them the right to bear arms. Guess who did that? A black woman judge. It's on my page. You can look it up. Like I said,
What state is she from?
That's a good question. I don't know. I could check if you need me to. But she's black. She's black. She's a female, and she's a judge. She said that she just didn't think it was fair that for them to be in the country and not being able to defend themselves. Listen, let me say something. If you don't see that we as a people are right in the thick of a process to be replaced and to be taken out, to where we were already second-class citizens, where we're going to be fourth or fifth-class citizens. If you don't see that, I don't know what to tell you. And if it's not enough to put you at pause and to giving more examination to whoever is running, because let's face it, listen, I'm not gung-ho about either of these candidates, but I'm going to tell you something. I'm not going to just
But you would be comfortable if Donald Trump is president in January 20th, if he was sworn in as president of the United States.
This is what I'll be comfortable
You'd be
with.
comfortable.
This is what I'll be comfortable with. If they're no difference, if they have no difference.
November 5th.
Listen, I'm gonna answer your question. I swear I am. If I see no difference between the two, yes, I would be comfortable. These people lied and said, she started saying that she was an African-American woman just for the election when I followed her before now. She never said that before. And again, you don't have to be African-American for me to vote for you. Like I said, I supported Hillary Clinton. So it's not about that. But when you tell one lie, now I'm suspicious of what else you're lying about. Next thing that comes out, like I said, that they had an app for these immigrants to come over here safely when they acted like they wasn't even aware that they was coming over here in the country. That's another thing that was. Let me finish, please, friend. Another thing, you told us that Project 25 was something that Trump did. That was another lie. And what the world doesn't understand right now is we're not for this script that the Democrats have been giving to our wonderful, ancestors and all. Listen, this is a different day and age. They didn't have social media back in the day. So it's a difference.
Let me say this right
wait, if I can just finish my little sentence. For you to say that Project 2025 was Trump and to use that as a fear type tool for black people, all the black people running around, oh my God, Project 2025, oh, Trump gonna do Project. There's no way that you're the vice president or anybody in any part of legislature and you did not know that that was something that was started back in the 80s. And so if you're gonna lie, and that's what I was gonna say, the world is at a place right now, we just want you to be truth. We just want to tell the truth. We just want you to be honest. We just want you to be real. That's where America is right now. From the young people to the middle-aged people to I don't care what color you are people. We just want to know who you are. If you're racist,
I have a question. I have one
just
question.
say it.
I interject this here.
Go ahead, friend.
During the 4 years that Trump was in office, were you more comfortable with Trump in office for those 4 years than you were with Kamala and Biden?
Yes.
Okay.
Financially, I was.
And
Yes.
let me ask you another question.
No. So that's a layered question, but to the quick answer is
Yes, no.
yes, financially.
Okay.
No, with what black people was going through here in the country with the uprising of so many hate groups.
Okay. Let me ask this right here: is that Trump built the wall, didn't he?
It didn't get built. He had the stuff there.
He built the wall. The wall was built.
No, he didn't build the wall. It didn't get built.
The wall was built. Yes,
No,
it
I'm
is.
telling you, it didn't get built. I'm telling you, that's
So
what I
he
know.
had never built the wall.
The materials were there, and they moved it when Biden got in. Yeah, that's a fact.
I thought they built the wall.
He was trying to build the wall. He had the stuff there. It was a process, but then he didn't get reelected. So it didn't happen, and this is what happened. The people came here, and this is what I'm saying. Like,
So were you in favor with them storming the Capitol like that? You know, they stormed the Capitol. They beat police up when they went in there too.
so I'm gonna give you my honest response about
Go
that.
ahead.
I know that in the Constitution, right, that it says when your government is no longer working for you, you should take over the government.
Jesus. And you believe that?
Right? I think right now, I'm telling you my opinion, you know? I'm telling, this is just my opinion.
Yes.
Right? And you can laugh at it. I can laugh
I'm
at some of
laughing.
the stuff that you're saying today.
Yeah, I'm
but
laughing at it, but come on,
I'm not gonna meet your I'm not gonna meet
I'm
your
not laughing at you. I'm just
pettiness.
laughing at what you're saying. I mean, like you're
what I'm
going
saying
against
is the
everything that
truth.
we built. The whole
No, what I'm saying, listen,
200
is the
years
truth.
of building this thing
If
like
your
this.
government is not working for you, they're working against you. And you guys may not have that experience, because I remember not too long ago when Sharp was in office, when we had things that went wrong here, we would be down in City Hall arguing to maybe 1, 2 in the morning until we got it right. You understand? That's not what's going on right now. If they don't like what you have to say, they got the police down there in numbers getting people out of there. Manira Bomani just did a case on the fact that that's censorship. You're working on our freedom of speech. This is what the government is doing. They're taking acts against us. So when your government is not working for you, and like I said earlier, they're the servants. What is going on here? It's like it's role reversal. So when you ask me that, right,
Yes.
I just see, I'm not saying that I condone what happened, because I definitely don't, because deaths happen because
Yes,
of that.
that's right.
But when your government is not working for you, I don't agree with what I see happening in other places too, like Newark, where no matter what happens,
Okay.
people just go along with it. I think people need to storm City Hall steps for things that they think is important.
All right. Well, as
Now, I don't
we
want
can-
nobody. I'm not. Listen, I want to be clear.
No,
I'm not
no.
condoning any deaths. You
right,
understand?
right,
And,
we don't-
and listen, I'm not going to sit up
Right.
here and advocate for. You're not going to, try to act like I'm an advocate.
No, I'm
for
not
Trump.
acting like anything.
Because,
You
like I
saying
said,
your own
like what
stuff.
I
You saying
want
from
from
your mouth.
governance,
I'm not
what I
saying that.
want from
I
governance.
ain't acting like anything now.
What I want from governance, what I expect and demand from governance, is that it works for the people. Charity starts at home.
Yes.
Black people are the very fabric of this country.
Yes.
And I think that when you're sending packages to Ukraine and packages to Israel, right, to fight an army that's half children. Did you know that? That half the children, there were children. Half that army in Palestine were children. When this is happening and you're forcing Americans to watch, and then so many of us are laid out in the street losing our homes. I mean, even when Obama was in office, the banks, they got a pass. And when do we get a pass?
Well, the people did get, let me say this right, in 2012, Barack Obama gave a forgiveness act. He had a forgiveness act. And so a lot of people was forgiven of their loans. I know
What
that
loans?
for sure. Well, their loans on their homes.
Oh,
So
I
they
don't
were, they were that. But again,
Wait, you're right. I do remember that. I
Remember
do
that.
remember
Okay.
that. I do
Well,
remember
you-
that. But
but-
like, how many people were able to get it? Because they talked about the fact that people weren't able to capitalize off it, and he didn't know what was going on. So sometimes the bureaucracy is so much that regular citizens, like I said, a lot of people are not,
Well, as we conclude here today, and I'm happy to interview Sheila Montague.
No, he not.
Because she's a very bright woman, and I hope one day to interview her while she's sitting in office someplace
I
in this
appreciate
area.
you.
But let me ask you this right here.
Sure.
Come November 5th, I believe that's a Tuesday, and you go to the polls.
That's right.
You give them your name. They give you a little pen to sign on the computer thing now. They give you that sheet. Who will you write in? Will you vote for Kamala Harris? Or who will you vote for?
It's only August, like I said in the beginning, and I'm undecided. I'm really hoping that the Democratic team will come forward with a package for Black people to try to get our vote. Because putting Meg Thee Stallion on stage or Quavo is not enough. And matter of fact, that was embarrassing. I didn't approve of that at all. I think that putting Beyonce on stage is not enough. I think that they're gearing their campaign toward the pandering that includes celebrities. And Malcolm said, our celebrities are not our leaders, you understand? So there are critical thinking Black people who work hard for a living, business owners who we want and need support. And I want to see what package they're going to put together for us. because we need help. And if they put a package together, I have no doubt in my mind Kamala will gain my support. But until then, I will be meeting with lots of people in my community. We will continue having these conversations.
Yes.
We will continue forcing people to examine things other than just identity and the color of somebody's skin. I think that's a horrible precedent to teach young people who are not being taught civics in school, who are about to matriculate into a community of being voting age adults, and that's what older adults are saying that they should look at giving a woman a pass because she's a woman. No, it's no.
Okay.
No.
Well, all right. Well, Sheila, if you will agree, in mid-October, like the 15th to the 20th, I would like to interview you again.
Okay, that
And
sounds
perhaps,
fair.
by that time, you will know who you're going to vote for
Absolutely, absolutely.
on that date. All right.
Absolutely.
Zachariah Jackson, BASA News. Goodbye.